Have you ever felt like something is missing in your life but you can't quite name it? You wake up, you go to work, you scroll, you eat, you smile when expected, you nod in conversations. But somewhere, beneath the noise and routine, there's a faint whisper, a silent scream. This isn't who I really am. But then, who are you? Most people will die without ever meeting themselves. Not because they couldn't, but because they were too afraid to try. We live in a world addicted to distraction. We fill every silence with noise, every idle moment with a screen. We don't allow ourselves to be bored, to be still, to be alone with ourselves. And maybe that's not accidental. Because deep down, we know that if we were to strip away all the noise, we might be left with someone we don't understand. Or worse, someone we don't like. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned us, he who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. But he also said something more haunting. If you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. What if the abyss isn't the world, but yourself? What if what we fear most isn't death, failure, or loneliness, but our own unexamined mind? From a young age, we're trained to wear masks, be polite, be normal, be agreeable, be successful. We play roles: the good son, the smart girl, the hard worker, the quiet one, the funny friend. But masks worn too long fuse to the skin, and eventually we forget there was ever a face underneath. Carl Jung called this the persona, the social mask we wear to navigate society, but he warned that identifying too closely with it leads to the loss of the self. You see, your persona is the version of you that gets applause, but the self, the real you, is the one who watches in silence, wondering when it gets to speak. And often, it never does. Because society doesn't reward authenticity, it rewards consistency, predictability, efficiency. And so, we become cogs in a machine built by people who don't know our names, and wouldn't care if we vanished. In 1943, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a German theologian imprisoned by the Nazis, wrote one of the most piercing essays on human nature. He said the real threat to civilization wasn't evil but stupidity, because evil you can argue with. Evil knows what it's doing. But stupidity is different. It's passive, it's blind, and it's contagious. A stupid person isn't just someone who lacks intelligence. It's someone who surrenders their ability to think, someone who adopts beliefs not because they've reasoned them, but because they've absorbed them. Sound familiar? We scroll social media, echo opinions, repeat sound bites, wear identities like clothing. Left, right, spiritual, logical, empath, sigma male, alpha female. But how many of those labels were born from you? How many are just borrowed to avoid the terrifying task of thinking for yourself? Bonhoeffer wasn't just warning about political regimes, he was warning about something far more dangerous, a population that stops questioning. And when you stop questioning the world, you also stop questioning yourself. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who lived in a dark cave. He was born there, raised there. Everyone around him lived in the same cave. They sat in rows, watching shadows on the wall. That was their life. One day, the man breaks free. He stumbles out into the sunlight. At first it blinds him, burns him, but then he begins to see trees, rivers, the sky, and most importantly, himself. He returns to the cave to tell the others. They mock him. They call him insane. They kill him. That's Plato's allegory of the cave. A 2400-year-old warning, a prophecy. Because even today, if you try to leave the cave, of comfort, of conformity, of consumerism, you will be met with resistance, not just from society, but from yourself. Your brain is wired to seek safety, and what's safer than doing what everyone else is doing, than never questioning, than staying in the dark where it's familiar? But safety is not peace. Peace comes from truth, and truth is uncomfortable. There's a war inside every person, between who you are and who you're supposed to be, between the voice that says speak and the voice that says stay quiet, between the part of you that wants to explore and the part that wants to obey. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this when he observed that the people are more impressed by the appearance of virtue than by virtue itself. We are raised in systems that prefer obedience over introspection. Think about school. Did it teach you how to understand your emotions, or how to memorize facts? Did it reward curiosity or compliance? And yet, we wonder why we feel hollow. You can win every game society lays out for you, graduate top of your class, land the best job, build the perfect life, and still feel like something's off. Because the game wasn't designed for you. It was designed to use you. Modern life whispers this lie. Keep moving, keep improving, then you'll be happy. But here's the truth. Progress without purpose is just motion. We chase goals not because they matter, but because we're afraid of what happens if we stop. What would happen if you actually sat in silence for an hour? No phone, no music, no distractions. You might hear your own thoughts. You might feel that emptiness you've buried for years. And you might realize the life you're living isn't yours. Meeting yourself is not a single moment. It is a lifelong practice. It's saying no to the expectations that don't fit you. It's sitting with your shame until it teaches you something. It's grieving the version of you that made others comfortable, so you can become the version that makes you whole. Nietzsche once said, "Become who you are." It sounds simple, but it's the most radical act a person can do. Because to become who you are, you have to first unbecome who you were told to be. So let me ask you, just you, in this moment of silence, when was the last time you were truly alone with your thoughts? When was the last time you questioned your beliefs? Not the ones about politics or religion, but the beliefs about yourself. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and didn't see a role, a label, a job title, but a soul? You will live many lives in one body. Don't let all of them belong to someone else, because the day you finally meet yourself might just be the day you come alive.